You know who I'm really glad to see here tonight? Howard Feynman. Where I can keep an eye on him. And I mean that sincerely. I'm glad to be here tonight with our other guest speaker. Now, I make it a policy not to mention inflammatory public figures by name, but I am very pleased to share this podium tonight with the author of What's His Name Is a Big Fat Idiot. I feel a certain kinship with Al Franken. We frankly had a terrible 1994. I had Speaker Gingrich's victory in the midterm elections, and he had Stewart Saves His Family. But he asked me to tell that. But we've rebounded pretty well. I mean, after all, I'm still here, and he made $1 gazillion on that book. Much as I enjoyed Al's book, shortly after buying it, I came to regret my purchase. The very week I bought the book, it replaced Hillary's as the #1 bestseller. We have another noted author here, Speaker Gingrich. He's right over there. He's the fellow next to the baby raccoon and the iguana. Mr. Speaker, as long as you're here, I think out in public, in front of everybody, we ought to do a little work on the budget negotiations. You give me my Medicare plan, and you can have my mocha puff and chocolate sauce. It's too bad Senator Dole couldn't join us tonight, but thank goodness one of us is free to watch the kids. I must say, seriously now, that was a very interesting assertion he put forth. I sort of thought most kids would rather stay with me than Bob Dole. I mean, after all, they'd get to play Nintendo in the Situation Room. Leon promises to let me know whenever Barney comes on. But this babysitter debate raises only one of many pertinent questions the voters have to ask themselves before they choose the next president. An interesting line. I mean, for example, let's say you were going on vacation for a couple of weeks. Who do you trust to water your plants? Bob Dole or Bill Clinton? And suppose you were too busy shaking hands tonight and you didn't get to eat. And you go home tonight and you decide to order a pizza. Who do you trust to select the toppings? Bob Dole or Bill Clinton? Or what about this scenario? Bob Dole is on a train headed toward Spring Valley at 65 miles an hour. Bill Clinton is traveling by car from the opposite direction at 35 miles an hour. Given the fact that the train has twice as far to travel as the car, who do you trust to arrive in Spring Valley first? Bob Dole or Bill Clinton? Now, if you don't think these questions are relevant, and they may not seem relevant, I ask you, who are we to question the wisdom of Senator Dole's focus groups? Let me say this, too. This is a serious comment. I think Senator Dole made a mistake not keeping Mary Madeline on his team. And Mary, I saw you up here earlier. Wherever you are there, you're welcome on my team, and I don't care who you're married to. Any bald-headed Cajun knows we're right and they're wrong. As you know, this is the very first time in our nation's history a sitting president is facing a sitting majority leader in the fall campaign. To be fair to all concerned, it's a difficult situation. Just imagine trying to do the job you were hired to do with an adversary breathing down your neck, questioning your every move, waiting for your next misstep. Trent Lott ought to just cut it out. Now, many of you have been writing about my so-called stealth campaign for re-election. We hit our first major setback this week when the RNC broke the code on our press releases. But I want you to know I'm holding firm to my strategy, and my strategy is working. In fact, according to the New York Times, my vice president is closer to formally announcing his candidacy than I am. By the way, I want to congratulate the Times on that Al Gore wants to be president scoop. Pulitzer's in the bag. Some of you some of you have been asking for 6 months now, well, when is this announcement speech? In keeping with the stealth campaign strategy, Mike McCurry had this idea that instead of the traditional announcement speech, tonight I should just give an off-the-record announcement on what he calls psych background. As if we didn't have enough trouble. So that way I could give you some insight into my truly secret, private thoughts about this election. So if we can all agree on the ground rules, I'd like to give you a sense of the musings of my inner candidate. You can attribute these remarks to a source inside the president's suit. Now, I had occasion to give this topic considerable thought last weekend as I was going through the Sunday classified ads. Gosh, there must have been 8.5 million listings, all of them at good wages. But I couldn't find a single job I'd prefer to this one. So in lieu of a formal announcement speech, you can report on psych background that Bill Clinton is under the strong impression that America is a great country and that we are living in an age of possibility. Bill Clinton suspects that America is moving in the right direction, but we have to keep working together to find common ground. Bill Clinton is inclined to think he can help us meet America's challenges with just one more term. Now, I'd like to go back on the record to say thank you and good night, so you may report that Bill Clinton said thank you and good night.